Alright lads, so today we're here to start off the showcases for the brand new characters in Brave Souls, and starting off the showcases we have the best character in the banner in my opinion, a new 1000-year Blood War Byakuya. This is a character that of course I have been anticipating, especially alongside Rukia and an eventual Esnot, especially because the last Byakuya that we did get, the 1000-year Blood War one, wasn't that good. He was a mid-month character, and even then, he lacked havoc, he lacked what made characters fun, and he really did rely on other characters like Yuha to even be usable in the content he wants to be used in. This Byakuya though is the complete opposite of that. He's a really good character and sometimes makes even other characters better. Before we do have a look at the character, what I like to always do is compare the 1000-year Blood War characters, the manga versions, to of course the new anime versions. Besides the obvious fact that these two characters released 7 years apart, the new one of course is going to look significantly better model-wise, but it's really interesting to see the design choice and how the Royal God outfit looks different, right? The coloring of course is different, but even the way it looks is completely different, and I definitely do prefer the way this one looks. Although to be fair, maybe it does end up looking a lot like this near the end. This of course is Core 2, this is Core 4 Byakuya, but the new Byakuya just overall looks really majestic, and that's basically the standard for Byakuya, right? With that said though, Byakuya is a Heart Sorba captain with the Human Killer Plus. Ranged humans are lacking good SP units, so getting a new one as good as Byakuya is going to be really good for Guild Quest content, and human enemies in particular can be quite annoying, so given the fact he is a ranged character ensures that he's going to keep his distance, and in the potential chance we ever go against poised human enemies in a potential upcoming Limit Breaker quest, Weakening Paralysis is going to be a really good combination to stop them from doing damage, because they can deal a lot of damage, but then they'll also allow you to do 50% more damage since you are applying Weakening. Paralysis and Weakening is a very powerful combination that we don't see all too often, and it's really good when a good character like this does get it. In terms of damage output though, of course he is going to be hitting really hard, with Frenzy +2, a 60% strong attack damage increase, and when you do inflict a stat ailment, you will then get an 80% spiritual pressure boost. Of course, besides the fact that Weakening lets you do 50% more damage, once you do inflict a stat ailment, you will be doing then 30% more damage to those status afflicted enemies. And this is a universal team buff that you can give to any other Sorper in your team or co-op lobby to allow them to do 30% more damage. I will be honest, while of course this is obviously a good skill, it is kind of wasted in the idea of using him in Guild Quest, because less than a month ago, we just got Tanjiro, and one of the best parts about Tanjiro is that he does make Sorper characters better because he gives the same buff. So the hope going into this end of month banner, knowing that we were going to get a ranged human killer, was that they would be a Sorper so they could benefit from the buff from Tanjiro, and then it ends up that both of the characters get it. They don't stack, by the way, so had this just been something else, it would have stacked, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's still a good damage increase anyway, especially if you aren't using him alongside Tanjiro. So if he does want to inflict stat ailments, though, of course, he does have an increased chance to inflict stat ailments against human enemies, and then he has some extra utility effects, debilitating, bombardment, he's immune to every stat ailment, he then gets 40% more strong attack damage at full stamina, extra flash step, he has the havoc, so he has good range, and then it's also worth mentioning he does have an EX attack that can provide his entire team and himself 5 hit barriers. That's going to help him stay at full stamina and keep that full stamina damage, and it also just provides really good team support abilities. Overall, what you're going to see here is a very powerful character with a lot of good utility, and in all honesty, the only thing I feel like he's lacking is long strides. But since he has everything you want in the character, you can just give him long stride as a bonus ability. And for the sake of today's showcase, we're going to show the character at 1 out of 5, so level 10 SP overall. For the accessories, at least in the cop section that we are going to use him in, we have a fortification pill, an artisanal tea set, and also a Zeta pill, because I'm pretty sure in Link's trials there are hidden enemies. For the Links, it's what you expect. We're using Mayuri, giving us recharge and full stamina. Mugetsu, recharge and more strong attack damage only when at full stamina, and then once more, Chad, recharge and also full stamina. Bonus abilities, I opt in to give full stamina and also long stride. Personally, when I'm playing with my characters, I like them having long strides. In Epic Raids and Guild Quest content, where long stride isn't really that needed, opt in to use SP or weaken defense. Most likely SP though. Alright then, so let's see how this does go. So I believe, obviously, this is the new quest, and there are actual bosses in each stage, right? So we have to be a tad bit careful here. Lucky for us, though, we are immune to every stat ailment, and I guess this is going to be quite the good quest to try our characters in. Even though it technically is easier when compared to Inheritance Trials, it does feature like every killer, so at no point will a character be better for like a certain month. Everyone's kind of playing the same. But obviously, as you can see with the kit that we do have, we have a really good strong attack kit. And visually, man, that might be the best part of this character. Like, Owetsu was like one of the most fun characters in the entire game last month, and then this month, we potentially have the most visually aesthetic character in the entire game, the best looking character in the entire game. Let me go ahead and use my EX attack. That way it does provide us with barriers, so we can ensure that we are at full stamina. Because the second we do take hits, we lose all our full stamina. But even the barrier looks nice. Like, look at this. It looks great. SA3 comes out super fast too. Menina is a boss. That's not a worry for us. Seems like we are one-shotting the bosses too when we have an SP boost. And since there are human enemies, since there's a lot of different enemies, right? At no point will we ever have to worry about not being able to inflict a status on them. Because every now and then there will be a human enemy that will spawn in, and then we can inflict a status on them. Use the soul bomb there. Looks to be a pretty small room. And we one-shot. Nice, not too bad. Alright then, so jumping into our next lobby. In this case, this room's actually really good, the first room. Like, all the enemies, despite the room being quite large, all spawn in the bottom left. And one SA3 from a powerful character like Byakuya instantly activates the boss spawning in, right? Let's use our SA3 there. That didn't seem too good. I'm still kind of learning where to best use my strong attacks. This, after all, is a new quest. But the enemies themselves do seem quite spread apart. Alright, let's go here. SA1 into the 3. And one thing I will say, I need to remember that we are immune to every status summon, right? Got a status proc right there on our normal attack. Lovely. And as you can see there, we do pretty much one-shot. Again, weakening and paralysis is a powerful combo. It really is. And it's rarely put on characters. But I'm glad it is put on Byakuya. Because again, Byakuya deserved this, man. And the barriers actually helped out there. But Byakuya really did deserve a new character after all the characters he has been getting. You know, I'm pretty sure the last good Byakuya that we did get was 5th anniversary. And even then, even though like 5th anniversary Byakuya was really good, he was still lacking in some parts, right? He was really carried by that SA2. But to be fair, back then, during the 5th anniversary, all you needed was that SA2. This Byakuya, though, is probably perfect. Like, he really is. Really is. There's almost nothing bad about him besides very few nitpicks. Like, I would say long stride, but considering that he has everything else that you want, you can always just give him long stride as a bonus ability. In terms of clear time, though, again, I'm not really accustomed to what the clear time should be. But this seems to be quite good for a character like this. I believe our last clear time was also 1 minute and 12 seconds. If we possibly can get a sub 1 minute, that'll be really good. Alrighty then, so let's do that once more. So again, SA3 right here. Even without the spiritual pressure boost, we go straight into the boss wave. That's not too bad. But this is unrelated to Byakuya's shot, because I actually do like the idea that a boss does spawn in every wave. Or every room or so. Makes it feel a tad bit more challenging, but I wouldn't mind a more difficult version of this quest. Kind of like what we saw with Inheritance Trials when that first got added. Like, it was easy at first, then they added a more difficult one that gave us more drops. So let's go ahead and use our SA1 there, and then 3 here, right? There we go. Goes into Rose. Not Bankai Rose, but that is Rose. Alright, SA1 there. And I guess in this quest, since you are going against multiple different enemies, it does have a bigger importance on your actual raw damage output, since you aren't relying on killer. But we got a status proc on Menina right away. You love to see it. I believe that barrier did help me. I'm actually not too sure. And I guess, to be fair, I might do one more run because I forgot I can use my soul bomb, right? Because we actually get a second soul bomb in this quest. So, like, we can double soul bomb here. So I believe a sub 1 minute definitely is possible if I use my soul bomb in a earlier stage. Because, yeah, that was actually really close there. 1 minute and 6 seconds, we can definitely get a sub 1 minute. So let's just do one more run. So going into our 4th attempt, let's try that once more. Again, usually I only do 3 attempts in these crop type quests. But since we are still somewhat learning how to play this quest in particular, since it's a new one, right? I do want to just do one more attempt, right? Now, when do I want to use my soul bomb? I assume the Menina stage? Because that room's quite big. If I use my soul bomb in that stage, I don't feel like it would have been the smartest thing to do. Let's use our EX here because that's like an extra attack that we can do. It's going to give us that protection as well. SA2 into the 3. Back up and use our 1. We definitely can one-shot the Rose if we got a status proc. That's fine, though. And then this quest here. Surely this is enough of the sub-bomb, right? Which, by the way, obviously we've already played out the sub-bomb. It's beautiful. It's a really good-looking sub-bomb. I love that they include the red background and the actual buildings. Adds a lot more personality to the sub-bomb, right? And again, the moment itself is really cool when he flexes on S-Note that he's not using a Bankai. He's actually using his SHIKAI instead. Oh, hold on. 1 enemy is left alive. So yeah, that's not too bad. I guess it is nice that we get to use our soul bomb twice in this stage when we aren't even Yuha. I guess Yuha, though, can use the soul bomb 3 times in a quest, which is kind of crazy. But there we go. 51 seconds. That probably looks to be the best we can get. Not too bad. Obviously, expect he's going to clear fast. And in this case, sub 1 minute. Nice and easily done. Next up, we're taking him into Limit Breaker. I already posted a video today showcasing this team. Keep in mind that this Limit Breaker quest is easier than usual, so we don't really get to show the full power of someone like Byakuya. But there is a chance we do get a more difficult Limit Breaker quest later this month. And in that case, that's when Byakuya is going to shine. Overall, though, as a Limit Breaker character, because that's basically what he is, he does have Poise Break, which is going to be really good, although to be fair, he honestly doesn't need it. Like I mentioned, since he does have Paralysis and also Weakening, ideally you only want to use him when he is up against humans, and you're pretty much guaranteed to inflict a status proc. And in that case, the enemies won't be moving, so Poise Break obviously is a good skill to have, but in all honesty, you probably won't even realize it, at least when he does have Killer. I guess when he doesn't have Killer, Poise Break will be a bit more noticeable, so that honestly wouldn't be too bad. He has Weakened Defense, so if you do decide to use your Soul Bomb, you will be doing 30% more damage. And this team buff, which I did mention at the start of the video, is kind of wasted in Guild Quest content, at least if you have Tenjiro, is still a really good buff because, again, this is increasing his damage and at the same time, increasing Yachiru and also Soibon's damage. Now, obviously, we can't really demonstrate that extra damage on those two characters because we are pretty much one-shotting, but in a future Limit Breaker quest, right, when we have to use Byakuya, or ever Byakuya is ever usable in a particular slot, he's going to be really good just to buff your character's damage output, because a 30% universal team buff is always going to be good. It's why Gremmy right now is a really good team support. And obviously, Byakuya's in a way is better, right? Because his is to any Soipa, unlike Gremmy, who is to any Quincy. And obviously, there's not that many Quincy's that are really good in the game right now. Obviously, that will change in the future, but there are plenty of good Limit Breaker characters, plenty good Soipas in general, that would greatly benefit from that buff or Byakuya being in the team. And as far as this stage does go, right, Byakuya's been really good. His SA 1 and 3 come out super fast, so you're able to clear multiple waves with just one strong attack. Like, SA 1 and 3, take that down, and it feels very satisfying taking out multiple waves with just 1 or 2 strong attacks, especially ones that come out super fast. So our goal, if we possibly can in this one attempt, is to get to 25. We already did that early today, which I don't think we're going to do right now because I made a mistake. Never mind. Yachiru was able to recover. All right. Looking good thus far. Again, Byakuya's been a great character. I've mainly been using him over Toshiro, despite Toshiro having a better chance to inflict stat augments. It didn't really matter all too much, but Byakuya having the faster strong attack activation was the reason why I chose to use him over someone like Toshiro. He's overall just a bit more enjoyable in my opinion, at least gameplay-wise. But his run's going quite well. Made a mistake there with that SA2, but it looks like we're able to get into stage 25. Because in this case, we've got to use our Soul Bomb. Again, we apply Weakened Defense, we apply the Paralysis, Weakening, and then we're also doing 30% more damage. So in a future Limit Breaker quest, whenever you do decide to use this Soul Bomb, you're doing, what, 110% more damage? 50% from the Weakening, 30% from the extra skill, and then 30% from the Weakened Defense. That's honestly really good, and again, I can't wait to try him out in more difficult Limit Breaker quests. So next up, we're taking Byakuya into the Awakened Ion Epic Raids. Currently, right now, he is a bonus, so he is getting that 3 times damage output with 100% more medals. And this boss in particular only has 23 million HP, so he should be relatively easy. To ensure that we can clear as fast as possible, we're using these 3 particular pets, giving us a good mixture of full stamina damage, berserker, but also extra shield damage so we can destroy that final phase a lot faster. And then for the build, it's basically the exact same as our previous runs. Alright then, so let's see how this does go. So we're going to start off the quest by using the Soul Bomb. This way it does guarantee us to activate our Spiritual Pressure boost. Weakening and also Paralysis again is a very powerful combo, so that's going to allow us to basically one-shot that first phase. Let's use our 2 into the 3. Really good damage numbers here, and then now we just have to wait for a few more strong attacks to come back, and then we should instantly get into the 3rd phase. Having a few lag spikes here, but there we go. Final phase, let's use our EX, 3 into the 1, few more normal attacks, and there we go, nice and easy done in just 20 seconds. So 20 seconds to do 23 million damage, but remember, we are kind of being hard capped here because there are 3 different phases. So if this was just one phase at 23 million damage, we would likely do that in all 3 of our strong attacks, but our damage is capped here because we have to go through an extra phase. It stops us from dealing damage for like 2 seconds, a second, and then of course we also have to spend time destroying their shields. So let's try it out once more, maybe we can get faster than 20 seconds. So do that into the 2, then EX. Seems like the EX doesn't do that much damage, at least when compared to our strong attacks. Strong attacks did really good there. I believe I was seeing like 400k per hit. Then SA2, that does a good amount of damage to the barrier. But I think we have to just wait for the SA3. So it looks like we're kind of hard stuck 20 seconds here. We were a second faster there, so 19 seconds overall. But at least by ourselves, this seems to be the fastest we can get. Let's try once more though. Maybe we can get 2 seconds faster. Because maybe in this case, if I use my EX attack, maybe that will actually let us get through the first phase without using a strong attack. So Soul Bomb into the EX. Just almost got into it. Like literally 70% there. Let's use our 1 into the 3. If we inflict a Starsman on a strong attack, we're able to one-shot one of those phases. Unfortunately, though, wasn't able to happen. And I don't want to reset too many times for that to actually happen. But basically, consistent 20-second play time. And I guess since we are in epic raids where the map is actually zoomed out, we get to see his strong attacks more clear. And they actually look really good. I mean, Byakuya's always been a pretty looking character. And I say that with his like Zenbo and Zakura, not the character himself. But I mean, he's not bad looking. But Zenbo and Zakura has always had great animations in this game, especially as the years have gone by. His last 1000 Jibbodo character looked absolutely amazing, and they just made it look so much better on this character, which I'm honestly for because this is the cooler version of Byakuya. His Royal Palace outfit looks cool. I'm surprised how different yet better they can keep making Zenbo and Zakura look every time we do get a new Byakuya. And last but not least, let's take Byakuya into Guild Quest. In this case, we're going to do a few tries on Very Hard and then a few tries on Nightmare because Nightmare isn't always going to be available. So I do want to get a good feel of the character in a difficulty that we're more likely going to play in the future. So one of the best parts about Byakuya is that he is a ranged human killer. Those in general have been lacking a really good unit, more so for Guild Quest content, because of course you can use Quincy Ichigo and also Iban, more so when paired with Grammy, and they make for decent leads. But Quincy Ichigo's damage output is inconsistent, his strong attack kit doesn't make for enjoyable gameplay in Guild Quest content in particular, and then Iban, again, he kind of needs Grammy to be good. Byakuya is quite a self-efficient unit. He does exactly what he wants to do, and he does it by himself. But of course, he does get better when you have Tenjiro in the team. The way we are building Byakuya today is a Fortification Pill, a T-set, and also a Human Killer sticker. With that, we're using similar enough links, just recharge and damage soul traits more so. Bonus abilities this time around is full stamina and also SP, because again, we don't really need long strides. Tenjiro is going to be here for his normal attack damage. He himself is going to be doing a lot of damage, right? He's also providing us with 43% extra attack and also focus. And then our third character, a character you might have never thought would be good, is now useful. We have Kido Tournament Toshiro. So why exactly are we using him? Well, in this case, he's actually giving Heart Attribute Captains 20% more strong attack damage. Because it specifies Heart Attribute Captains and not just the entire Heart Attributes, it does mean that we can use the Mugetsu link to get 40% strong attack damage to Byakuya. Alongside that, he's also giving 20% more damage to status-afflicted enemies if you are a Heart Attribute Captain. And once more, since it specifies captains that are hearts, it doesn't clash with the 30% that Byakuya gives to himself. So, Byakuya himself is doing a lot of damage, Tenjiro is buffing us and doing a lot of damage, and then this Toshiro with the Mugetsu link is basically giving us 60% more damage. All that combined, let's see what score we're about to get. I haven't done too many attempts with Byakuya, but it should be quite safe to say he's going to easily get a sub 50, right? So let's use our SA1 or SA3 into the 1. Go back here and use our SA2. We inflict the Starsman and almost one-shot the boss, right? Let's Soul Bomb into the 1. Then we get to use our SA3. Might as well use our EX attack. And then SA2 into the 1. Very easily done. First attempt, 51 seconds remaining. In all honesty, I probably didn't even need Tenjiro in the team. Like, of course, Tenjiro was doing damage, but we essentially had a strong attack ready almost every single time a boss spawned in. And his strong attack kit's also really good for Guild Quest content because it's able to cover a wide range of enemies, right? Like, SA1 there, pretty much one-shot, that's great. SA2 almost attacks everyone, right? If anything, we can try and rely on Tenjiro to get the extra cleanup. Soul Bomb into 1's good there. Our SA3 into is back already. No status proc there, that's fine though. Again, that's the benefit of having Tenjiro in the team, and we didn't even need to use our EX attack. Second attempt, there was a tad bit slower, only 48 seconds that time. But I mean, as of right now, I'm not really trying to reset for a high score, but 51 seconds first attempt on Very Hard is actually really good. If anything, I want our 5 super consistent, 45 seconds remaining. If you have good accessories, good team, easily sub 50. Maybe even approaching 53. 50-40 even, because I feel like he has the potential to one-shot every boss with this team. All you have to do is get a status proc, which is super easily done with this character, since he does have the increased chance, and also frenzy too. With that said though, now let's try that out in Nightmare difficulty. And the crazy part that we might see here is that it's going to be very similar in terms of damage numbers, right? We do have to get a status proc, so in this case, we're having to use almost 4 strong attacks just to take down the enemy. That's kind of tragic. Let's use the EX here, because that actually can inflict status ailments. We aren't one-shotting this time around, but we do have to spam all the strong attacks. Let's use our 3 into the 1. Remember, weakening itself only lasts like 2 seconds, so you really always want to have a strong attack ready to follow up once you do inflict status ailments. So in this case, using our Soul Bomb, right? We're going to apply weakening and weaken defense. So let's instantly follow up with a strong attack. I guess let Tanjiro do extra damage there. Okay, that just kind of ruined the run. We should have been using strong attacks there. Don't do what I did. But let's just quickly finish up the final boss. Alright, first attempt, 33 seconds remaining. On Nightmare, that's not bad, but that was quite the bad run. But I guess it goes to show, even when I stop using strong attacks, what I would consider a bad run, we still got easily sub 30. So let's try that again. Let's try that again. This time, let's try not make any mistakes. So SA1 got a status proc. Was I able to follow up with a strong attack too? With the weakening attack, I'm not too sure. The EX attack is actually really good for just having an extra attack to do damage when you have no strong attacks available. Let's use our 3 into the 2. Unfortunately, didn't get a status proc until now, but Tenjo was able to finish up. Now let's use our Soul Bomb. Weaken defense into the 1. 40 seconds remaining. Let's use our 3 into the 1. And then finish up with the 2. Weirdly enough, similar clay time. I definitely feel like we can get a sub 40, so let's aim for that in our next run. Alright then, let's hope to get a status proc right away. Because sometimes it sucks when a character like Byakuya, which luckily did not happen now, can't inflict the status ailment. Sometimes it happens though. So going into the second wave, the SA2 is really good for grouping everyone up together, by the way. Likewise, with the EX, it also has really good range to it. Unfortunately, my SP boosters wore off. So that does hurt our damage just a tad bit. But I guess if there's one time to happen, you want to see that on the speed-only boss so Tendro can do more damage. SA3 into the 1. There we go. Lucky status procs right there. Easy sub 40. And again, on Nightmare difficulty, that's actually quite good. Although the question is, what happens if we only use Byakuya? I'm very curious if he actually can solo Nightmare. He has the advantage of always being able to inflict status ailments. He's a heart character, so at no point will he have attribute disadvantage. I haven't been trying every character, whether they can beat Nightmare by themselves. Rarely you get the opportunity to even try that. But I am very curious to see how far he can actually take it. So it looks like, what, 4 strong attacks? 5 strong attacks to take down the boss. So we might as well use our EX attack here. Let everyone come close. 1. I'm actually kind of happy there. We didn't inflict the status ailment on that previous strong attack. Because the SP boost was about to wear off. And we literally got it right at the end. So in this case, let's wait for the SP boost to wear off like that, for example. That way we can always ensure we can inflict it. There we go. That just seems to be the pattern, right? The weakening proc is going to be really good here. Let's use our 1 into the 2. For some reason, Byakuya doesn't want to inflict the status ailment. There we go. I guess we'll sub him now, then 3, and just spam all our strong attacks where we can, because the final boss is going to be weak to us anyway, right? We have attribute and killer advantage. Let's just flash step around though. Wait for our SP boost to go away. Now we use it. SA3. There we go. Looks like we are going to be able to beat Nightmare Guild Quest by ourselves, only as special move level 1. 4 seconds remaining. Maybe we could get faster, but it doesn't really matter. So that goes to show, if you don't have Tenjiro and you are struggling in the ranged human guild quests, Byakuya is all you need. Just to beat it by himself. Really good stuff. But of course, if you have Byakuya and also Tenjiro, definitely use them together. And I would say definitely choose to opt in using this character right here, because the overall makes Byakuya a lot better. With that said though, lads, that's the video for today, going over the new 1000-year Blood War Byakuya. An amazing unit. Again, visually, this character looks absolutely amazing. The last Byakuya looked great too. This one somehow looks better. And of course, also play is significantly better. His strong attack kit is almost perfect. All the attacks come out super fast. His SA2 has great utility. His EX attack also has great utility as well. Good damage output. He's immune to every stat element. He basically has everything that you want. And if that wasn't enough too, his artwork's also really good too. That also goes the same for Rukia and also Renji. I just love the red background. It makes characters' art look so much better. And I'm glad they put it on units that aren't anniversary. And these are special units. They're releasing alongside the anime. So these characters are very similar to the Concord Trio where they get special backgrounds. And while I would love everyone to have it, I'm glad at least these characters do, in this case Byakuya as well. It feels really good and great to finally have a playable, powerful canon Byakuya. That is something that we've not had in quite some time. I actually can't tell you the last good canon Byakuya. The last good canon Byakuya, like great Byakuya, was the 5th anniversary one, but he was in original form. Well, to some, this character didn't deserve to be this good, because in the context of the banner, you know, it's Rukia and also Renji's defining moment. Byakuya still has more stuff to come. I am so glad he got a great character. Would have loved at the same time if Renji and also Rukia were equally as good as this unit right here. Either way though, that's the video for today. Let me know in the comments below what you lot think about this Byakuya. I'm curious to know what you lot have to say, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.